Hey pups, RP here, and welcome back to another Pup Reviews, the series where I review anything in media, animation, TV, movies, books, anime, manga, video games, whatever. And for today's review, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to review in regards of Pokemon games, so I decided to review one of my favorite spin-offs in this series, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Of course, you guys already know I'm doing a Let's Play involving that game, so a link to the playlist will be in the description if you want to check that out. That being said, let's get started! Of course, we get a deep delve into the history of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game series before getting into the real review. We go way back into the early to mid 2000s, before the development of PMD Red and Blue rescue teams. The idea was thought up by, and I am going to butcher this and maybe mispronounce this very heavily, I apologize in advance, Tsunokuza Ishihara, who before working on Pokemon games, worked on other Nintendo-based games during the 90s, mainly the Mario and Wario-based games in 1993 and Earthbound in 1994. He later left the company Ape Inc. and founded the new gaming company Creatures Inc., the company best known for the Pokemon games within Nintendo's business wing. And prior to the first games, Red and Green, who had developed the card games, and later worked on other games like Red and Green and Gold and Silver, which he initially believed were his last projects, but would later work on the remakes Fire Red and Leaf Green and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Around the 2000s, he would later start working on a Pokemon spin-off game of the player, instead of being a trainer with different skins, be an actual Pokemon. That's honestly a dream come true for a fangirl like me. Ishihara had played a few Mystery Dungeon games, like, and once again, I'm going to butcher this and mispronounce this very badly, Torneko no Daiboken Fushigi no Dungeon, and was inspired by the game so much that he decided to create a Pokemon version of the game. So, he agreed with the idea of two other developers, Nakahata and Tomi, and began working on the game alongside another developer who worked on Earthbound alongside Ishihara, Kuju Maruto. But after the game's release, Maruta stated the company went through a bad time during their business. But with the help of the PMD games, the game's success was what saved the company from bankruptcy. Around 2007, when they began teasing different PMD Explorer games, Time, Darkness, and Sky. We're reviewing Sky, my favorite in the series, so the development for that one began around January of 2009, planning it to be released in spring of that year. It played similar to the sister game of Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon Platinum, with it being the sister game of Time and Darkness. The game also had special edition episodes involving different side stories, and the game was released in spring of 2009 in Japan and was set for a US release around October 2009. But was the game a successor to its previous releases? Well, let's take a look at the plot, gameplay, but not the characters because, well, you know. Alright, let's go! Basically, the plot plays is simple. You wake up on a beach after getting separated from your old partner in a storm as a Pokemon of some sort, and you meet your partner, whichever Pokemon they are, and a couple of bullies, Zubat and Coughing, part of Team Skull, no, not that Team Skull. A couple of bullies, Zubat and Coughing, part of Team Skull, and their leader is later revealed to be a skunk tank, steal your partner's relic fragment, and you fight them and steal it back, and then agree to join a Pokemon exploration team, where you're later registered as a team in Wigglytuff's guild, and you go on certain missions to progress the storyline, and you later find your old partner Grovyle, who remembers you as a human. You then travel to some random place and fight off the Pokemon Dusknoir, and Grovyle and Dusknoir enter the vortex of doom and death and despair, and you have to fight Dialga to unfreeze time, and the rest of the world, and after he's defeated, you want to head back into your own world as a human, and it's up to your partner who saves the world from being unfrozen with their relic fragment. And later in a post-credits sequence, you decide to head back and stay there for the rest of your life. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a Pokemon for the rest of their lives? I know I would love that. Now that a quick recap of the story is done, onto the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty simple and self-explanatory. You go around different dungeons and collect lost items, saving other Pokemon, and stopping outlawed Pokemon who turned evil for some reason. Sometimes the Pokemon you fight in certain floors of the dungeon You travel asked to join your team, and that's a bit of a bonus for adding a new Pokemon to your team. As for the rival team you face often throughout the game, Team Skull, yeah, they're obviously better than the other rival team from Red and Blue Rescue Team, Team Meanies, in regards to members, personality, characterization, and obviously team name. Plus, Koffing and Zubat kinda remind me of Jesse and James from Team Rocket, or Cassidy and Butch. And, as a bonus, you get to unlock special episodes at certain points of the game, and that's a lot of fun. I don't think there's really much I could say about the gameplay for the most part, because, well, it's a Pokemon game. It's not really meant to be that difficult of a game anymore, so there's that. I still like it though. Surprisingly enough, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky was a huge success among fans and gamers alike. The game sold a little over 5.90 million copies in comparison to its sister games, Time and Darkness, that sold about 4.5 million the year prior. So that's a pretty big successor, if you ask me. As for what I think about the game, I love it! So far, it's one of my favorites in the Pokemon spin-off games as a whole. The story's good, the gameplay is good, everything about it is good. Again, you get to be Pokemon instead of a human with different skins. As for a rating, I'd gladly give it 5 out of 5 Explorer badges. Alright, that does it for this review. Let me know if you want to see more like this in the comments below. And also, be sure to comment your favorite PMD game down below as well. And with all that being said and done, I'll see you in the next one, pups. Cue the outro. RP is out. Peace!